The very first skill in training yourself to be unbothered is learning how to pause before you react. Most people run on autopilot when something irritates them. A rude comment, we snap back. An eye roll, we get defensive. A disagreement, we take it personal. But here's the truth. Our initial reaction is rarely the one that serves us best. The pause is where you get your power back. It's that small window between what happens to you and what you choose to do next. And the more you practice it, the stronger it gets. Think about the last time you said something in the heat of the moment that you later regretted. Maybe you fired off a text. Maybe you raised your voice. Maybe you stormed out of the room. In the moment, it felt justified. Later, it felt heavy. That's the trap of reacting without pausing. You're handing over your peace to someone else's behavior. Pausing gives you space to think, breathe, and respond with intention instead of regret. And that's where staying unbothered actually begins. When you pause, you're telling yourself, I don't have to match their energy. If someone comes at you with anger, sarcasm, or passive aggression, they want you to engage on their level. They want you to get pulled into their storm. But if you stop, take a breath, and give yourself 3 seconds before speaking, you've already broken the pattern. You've kept the control. That silence feels uncomfortable at first, but it's a shield. It's you deciding not to let chaos decide your character. The pause isn't about ignoring or pretending like you don't care. It's about slowing down enough to make a better choice. Imagine a driver cuts you off in traffic. You can either lay on the horn, chase them down, and let your day be ruined, or you can take a breath, keep your hands on the wheel, and continue on. The car is gone in 5 seconds, but your reaction could ruin your mood for 5 hours. Pausing in that moment saves you from losing peace over something that was never yours to hold. You can train the pause in small, everyday ways. When your phone dings with a message that annoys you, don't type back instantly. When someone interrupts you in conversation, don't jump to prove your point. When a family member makes a comment that rubs you the wrong way, let the silence hang for a beat before answering. These little pauses are like mental push-ups. The more you do them, the stronger your response muscles get. Soon, it won't feel like forcing it. It will just be who you are. What's powerful about the pause is that it gives you options. Without it, you're a slave to the first thought or emotion that pops up. With it, you can choose calm over chaos, clarity over confusion, patience over pettiness. It's not about being passive. It's about being strategic. People remember how you respond under pressure. If you can hold your ground and answer with steadiness, you'll surprise them. And more importantly, you'll surprise yourself. That's the kind of composure that builds respect both from others and from within. The next time someone tries to push your buttons, practice the pause, even just 3 seconds. Count to 3 in your head if you have to. Breathe in through your nose, breathe out through your mouth, and then speak. You'll notice that those few seconds give your brain time to catch up to your emotions. They give you perspective. And most of the time, you'll realize the best response is calmer, shorter, and sharper than what your first reaction would have been. One of the biggest reasons people stay bothered is because they take ownership of things that don't belong to them. Someone criticizes you, and you instantly think it's a reflection of your worth. Someone gossips, and you assume you need to set the record straight. Someone throws attitude, and you feel obligated to fix it. The truth is their words, their tone, their behavior. That belongs to them, not you. Training yourself to be unbothered means learning to put down what was never yours to carry in the first place. Imagine someone drops a heavy bag right at your feet. It's loud, messy, and inconvenient. But here's the key. You don't have to pick it up. That bag is their problem, not yours. Yet, most of us bend down, sling it over our shoulder, and then wonder why we feel drained. Detaching means recognizing that just because someone drops negativity near you, it doesn't mean you're responsible for holding it. That's their bag, their burden, their business. And the second you refuse to carry it, you start protecting your own energy. Detachment isn't coldness. It's clarity. When someone criticizes you unfairly, it doesn't mean you have to defend yourself every time. When someone is moody or short-tempered, it doesn't mean you're the reason for it. When someone is spreading drama, it doesn't mean you need to jump in and play referee. Most of what people project onto you is just a reflection of what's happening inside them. Their stress, their insecurity, their unhappiness, that's their storm. And when you stop standing in the rain, you stop getting wet. The tricky part is that we're wired to personalize. If a coworker is rude, we think, what did I do wrong? If a friend pulls away, we think, why don't they like me anymore? But 9 times out of 10, it's not about you at all. They might be stressed, distracted, or fighting battles you don't even see. Detaching means giving yourself the freedom to say, this is theirs, not mine. You stop dragging their storm into your calm, and that shift alone can change how light you feel each day. Think of detachment like building a mental boundary. You're not building a wall to shut people out. You're building a filter to decide what comes in and what stays out. Just like you wouldn't let garbage pile up in your living room, you don't need to let someone's emotional garbage pile up in your head. When someone tries to hand you their frustration, you can politely decline by not engaging, by responding with calm, or by simply walking away. That choice is always yours, and it's how you keep your peace intact. You can practice detachment in simple, everyday situations. If someone cuts in line at the store, instead of stewing about their rudeness, remind yourself that belongs to them. If a coworker sends a passive-aggressive email, don't mirror the tone. Respond with clarity or not at all. If a friend vents but doesn't listen when you speak, you can support them without absorbing their energy. Detachment isn't avoidance. It's mastery of knowing where you end and where they begin. And once you get good at it, you'll feel less heavy and more steady. Here's the empowering part. Detachment actually gives you more control, not less. Because you're no longer reacting out of guilt, anger, or defensiveness. You can respond with choice. You're not rushing to clean up what isn't yours. And you're not wasting energy on what you can't change. You're focusing on your lane, your growth, your peace. And when you live this way, people notice. They may still try to hand you their baggage, but you'll know better. You'll know it was never yours to begin with. When someone says or does something that bothers you, the natural instinct is to take it at face value. If they're rude, you think they must not respect you. If they dismiss you, you assume you don't matter to them. If they criticize you, you think it's about your flaws. But often what people do has little to do with you and everything to do with what's happening in their own life. Reframing their behavior is about flipping the lens, seeing it differently, and freeing yourself from carrying their weight as your own. Imagine someone cuts you off mid-sentence during a meeting. Your first thought might be, they don't value my opinion. That assumption stings, and suddenly you're irritated, maybe even resentful. But what if you reframe it? Maybe they're anxious to prove themselves. Maybe they're under pressure from their boss. Maybe they're insecure and feel the need to dominate conversations. None of that excuses the behavior, but it shifts the story you tell yourself. And that shift matters because the story you tell yourself decides whether you stay calm or stay bothered. Reframing doesn't mean excusing disrespect or letting people treat you poorly. It means reminding yourself that their actions are usually a mirror of their inner state, not a verdict on your worth. A snappy cashier may be exhausted from a double shift. A friend who cancels plans may be struggling with their own energy levels. A boss who nitpicks everything may be drowning in stress they won't admit. When you reframe, you move from this is about me to this is about them. That one mental switch keeps you grounded in perspective. Think about how much lighter you feel when you stop personalizing everything. If a stranger flips you off in traffic, instead of thinking they hate me, you can think that's their stress talking. If a relative criticizes your choices, instead of spiraling, you can think they're speaking from their own fears. That's the gift of reframing. You create distance between their storm and your self-image. Doesn't mean the behavior feels good, but it does mean you're not carrying their emotional baggage into your own mental space. Reframing also builds compassion without sacrificing boundaries. When you understand that someone's negativity often comes from pain, insecurity, or fear, it softens your urge to lash back. You don't excuse it, but you also don't let it poison your peace. You can address the situation firmly while keeping your calm intact. Instead of, "Why are they treating me like this?" it becomes, "They're acting out of something inside them." That's a calmer place to stand from. And calmer ground always makes for stronger footing. You can practice reframing every day in small interactions. The next time someone is short with you, instead of assuming you caused it, ask yourself, "What else could this mean?" When you get negative feedback, instead of feeling attacked, see if there's something useful hidden in their delivery. When you face criticism, remind yourself it's often filtered through someone else's perspective and insecurities. Reframing is like changing the lens on a camera. The picture is the same, but the way you see it shifts, and that shift changes everything about your reaction. The beauty of reframing is that it gives you back control. You can't control what people say or do, but you can control the meaning you attach to it. And meaning is powerful. It shapes your emotions, your decisions, your peace. When you train yourself to reframe, you stop letting people rent space in your head for free. You stop giving every rude tone or careless word the power to define you. You become the one writing the story, not just reacting to it. Energy is like currency. You only have so much to spend in a day. If you hand it out to every argument, every rude comment, every draining person, you'll be broke before the day is even halfway done. Protecting your energy means getting intentional about where it goes and refusing to give it away for free. Because not everything deserves your attention, and not everyone earns the right to take your peace. The more careful you are with where your energy flows, the more unbothered you naturally become in the face of life's noise. Think about how often you let small things drain you. The sarcastic co-worker who knows how to get under your skin. The social media post that keeps replaying in your head. The one negative comment you hold on to even after hearing 10 compliments. Those are energy leaks, and they cost you more than you realize. Protecting your energy doesn't mean ignoring problems. It means choosing which ones are worth addressing and which ones don't deserve a single ounce of your mental bandwidth. That decision alone keeps you lighter, calmer, and harder to shake. Protecting your energy also means being selective about the people you let close to you. Some people lift you up, and some people drain you dry. If you're constantly around people who gossip, complain, or criticize, you'll start to feel heavy without knowing why. It's not about cutting everyone off. It's about creating boundaries that keep you steady. You can love people without letting their chaos live in your head. You can care without caring. That's not selfish. That's smart. Because when your energy is steady, you actually have more to give to what matters. Another way to protect your energy is to stop engaging in every fight that calls your name. Not every comment needs a comeback. Not every opinion needs to be corrected. Not every piece of drama needs your participation. There's a quiet strength in being able to say, "I'm not going to waste my energy on this." It's like walking past a barking dog. You don't have to bark back. The more you resist the urge to jump into every battle, the more power you keep for the fights that actually matter. Think of your energy like your phone battery. If you let a bunch of unnecessary apps run in the background, you'll drain it before the day is done. Arguments, grudges, comparisons, those are background apps eating away at your peace. Protecting your energy is about closing those apps. It's deciding that you're not going to replay that conversation for the 10th time. You're not going to scroll through negativity, and you're not going to keep entertaining situations that leave you empty. It's about charging yourself with better habits and refusing to let the wrong things drain you. You can practice protecting your energy in little ways throughout your day. When someone tries to bait you into an argument, practice silence instead of a reaction. When you feel pulled to doomscroll, choose something uplifting instead. When you're tempted to explain yourself to people who don't actually care, remind yourself that no response is a response. Every time you save your energy from being wasted, you're teaching yourself to be unbothered. It's not about avoiding life. It's about directing your power, where it actually creates growth instead of loss. The biggest win from protecting your energy is freedom. You stop letting other people decide how your day goes. You stop handing over your peace like it's free candy. You become intentional about what you feed your mind and where you invest your attention. And suddenly you notice how much calmer you feel, how much stronger you stand, and how much lighter your daily life becomes. Protecting your energy is really protecting your peace. And peace is the highest form of strength you can carry. Training yourself to be unbothered isn't about flipping a switch one day and suddenly never being affected again. It's about practice, small, consistent steps that build strength over time. Just like going to the gym, you don't lift the heaviest weight on the first day. You start small, build muscle, and over time, what once felt impossible becomes natural. Small, daily wins are the repetitions that train your mind to stay steady. They're the practice rounds that prepare you for the bigger challenges life is going to throw your way. Think about pausing for 3 seconds before responding to something irritating. That's a small win. Choosing not to open a text right away when you're upset, another small win. Letting a stranger's rude comment slide instead of replaying it in your head all day. That's a win too. None of these moments feel dramatic, but they're like drops filling a bucket. Day by day, those drops add up, and suddenly you're carrying yourself with a steadiness you didn't know you had. The small wins are what make being unbothered a skill, not just an idea. The beauty of practicing small daily wins is that they give you evidence. Every time you succeed in holding your peace when you normally wouldn't, you prove to yourself that you can do it. And the brain loves evidence. It starts to trust that you're capable of keeping calm. And that trust becomes confidence. You're not guessing anymore. You know you can stay steady because you've practiced it. You know you can handle yourself because you've done it before. That's how resilience is built. Not from one big moment, but from hundreds of tiny ones. Daily wins also help you build momentum. If you can stay calm in the little things, the big things don't feel so overwhelming. For example, if you can let go of the driver who cuts you off, it becomes easier to let go of a co-worker's attitude. If you can resist biting back at a sarcastic remark, it becomes easier to hold steady when someone close to you presses your buttons. Each small win builds into the next, and before long you've created a lifestyle where being unbothered is the default, not the exception. What's powerful about this approach is that it removes the pressure. You don't have to master everything at once. You don't have to be perfectly calm in every situation from day one. You just focus on today's small wins. Can you pause instead of snapping? Can you let go instead of clinging? Can you redirect your energy instead of wasting it? When you think in terms of small wins, you stop chasing perfection and start practicing progress. And progress, no matter how small, creates growth that lasts. These daily wins also change the way you see yourself. Instead of thinking, I always overreact or I can't handle pressure, you start telling yourself, I'm someone who can stay calm. That identity shift is huge because the way you see yourself shapes the way you act. If you believe you're someone who can hold steady, you start acting like it automatically. Those small moments become proof of who you're becoming. And over time, they rewrite the story you carry about yourself. That's where true confidence comes from. Not pretending, but practicing. In the end, being unbothered is really the result of thousands of small decisions stacked together. Every pause, every moment of detachment, every reframed thought, every time you protect your energy, they all add up. None of them look like much in isolation, but together they create a foundation that can hold steady in any storm. The wins don't need to be dramatic. They just need to be consistent. And the more you practice them, the less effort it takes.